of changing the narrative surrounding the Dallas Cowboys and whether or not they're able to beat good teams comes to an end in Week 15. The Cowboys falling to the Buffalo Bills 31-10. They now move to 3-4 on the road, 10-4 in the season. The Bills remain one of three organizations that Dak Prescott still has not gotten a win over. Welcome into Cowboys Flashback. I'm Nicole Hutchison. The Cowboys entered this game with very little room for error in terms of trying to build a case for one of the top seeds in the playoffs. Well, the stakes were just as high for the Buffalo Bills, with them trying to make the playoffs, and they played like it. The Dallas Cowboys, well, the Bills controlled the clock. They were physical defensively, got off the field on third downs, and moved the ball very effectively. All areas the Cowboys struggled in on Sunday night. Mike McCarthy acknowledging post-game there's plenty of areas they need to address after the film they put on tape against the Bills.
Yeah, we got to be better in this. I think we talked about coming off of the Thursday night game going into Philadelphia. I think this stretch really lays up well for us because, it gives us 3 road games, all tough games, and I don't think anybody expected to play the way we did tonight. They played well. I don't want to discredit their performance, but we got to be much better on the road, regardless of what's in front of us and all the other conversations, because there's too big of a gap between home and away.
Obviously, a lot of talent out there on the defense, but how do you get this team to play more?
Hey, flag me down. I'll call on you. Okay.
Mike Towers for the ESPN. The run defense, that's been a worry for you for a good portion of the year. What happened today with them in the edge and also up the middle?
Yeah, no, they got on our edge, a bunch, and I know Dan and the guys were very impressed with Cooks, throughout the week. So, specifically, they performed better than we did. They broke our contain. They broke tackles. They won the bend back battle. So just all the little things that we've been good at. So they were better at it today.
And the penalty issues continued for this Dallas Cowboys team. They entered Sunday as the league's most penalized team. They added 5 more on Sunday to the fire. 3 of the 5 were personal foul penalties that led to 18 of the first 21 points for Buffalo.
You can't win with penalties. You can't let them sustain drives. That's how you lose. So we got to fix that, and we can't allow it to happen because, when you allow things like that happen, it's already hard to stop offenses. You give them more room.
Mike had talked about the road issues, that it's mind-boggling why that is. How do you flip the mentality of that going forward, knowing that you're going to be in positions that to play on the road?
It's a mindset, no matter where we play, we should be able to play anywhere. At the end of the day, you still putting on your cleats, you still lining up, so you just got to be able to handle your business no matter where it's at.
How do you instill that mindset?
You just got to be in you, we lost today. They was more physical than we was. If we was at home, and they ran the ball, we got to stop the run. It comes down to the same thing, so. And we wasn't able to do that today.
Next week, another road game, another top AFC team. Is that an opportunity for which you're grateful to get an opportunity just to go out there and try to have a different feeling this time next week?
For sure. I mean, they got a great team. We got to fix our mistakes, fix what we didn't do well, and because it's a copycat league. If you don't correct the things you didn't do well last week, they go try to do the same thing. So. You just got to do it and be able to perform next week.
I suppose this is an obvious question, but is it harder to play on the road, and if so, why?
It's not. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's football. Yeah, the fans is in it, but you got to line up. You got to cover the guy in front of you, and it shouldn't matter where it's at.
The Bills dominated the Cowboys in all 3 phases on Sunday evening. We're going to break down how coming up later in the show. But up next, Savannah Humoller joins the show to break down her game-changing plays in Week 15.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys fall for the first time in 6 weeks, leaving Buffalo with just a field goal and one offensive touchdown, falling to the Buffalo Bills 31-10 in New York. Got Savannah Humoller joined with me to kind of break down some game-changing plays in Week 15. And if I had to think about it, it'd obviously be those penalties, right? 3 personal foul penalties in the first half alone that extended touchdown drives for the Buffalo Bills.
Penalties are on my list of things that we need to work on going into next Sunday. But going back to this Buffalo game, not the ideal outcome anyone wanted for the Cowboys. Although Dallas clinched a playoff spot on Sunday, securing a win on the road against Buffalo would have been the statement the team needed. I want to start with one of the biggest turning points from this game for me. With 25 seconds left in the first quarter, with the score 7-0 Buffalo, Dallas had the opportunity to get the ball back. The Bills punter, Sam Martin, set up the punt when Cowboys' Sam Williams attempted to block the punt and ran into the punter. Let's take a look at that play.
No doubt. That was a perfect example. Here's Martin. And that one, how did he get it away? And he gets decked. There's a penalty flag. This one, Turpin is on the receiving end. Williams ran into the punter, and Turpin is going to be taken down. That was a 4th and 8. So if it's roughing, it'll be a first down. And it sure looked like roughing.
Yeah, it looked like he got his full body there. Sam Williams, number 54. But his
foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense, number 54. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Williams' personal foul ended up putting the Bills back on offense into the start of the second quarter, allowing the Bills to drive into Dallas territory. Josh Allen threw an 18-yarder to James Cook to give Buffalo a 2-touchdown lead over the Cowboys. And as the Cowboys were starting to try and climb back the remainder of the game, the pressure on Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was heavy. The Bills defense found a way to stop this offense several times, especially on 3rd downs. I have 2 plays that stuck out to me here. This first one being the Cowboys offense in the red zone with 7:21 on the clock in the second quarter. It's 3rd and 4. Dak passes, tripped up at the line of scrimmage from Bills' Jordan Phillips, nearly intercepted. This allowed Dallas to get a field goal to follow. Still not ideal, as a touchdown really was needed in this area. And now into the 3rd quarter, when the Cowboys were down by 21 points, another big 3rd down. Again, Bills defensive tackle Jordan Phillips coming in hot with a sack on Dak Prescott. Protecting Dak and allowing more time in the pocket for him will be key going into this game next week. Now, I will say my one positive from this Buffalo game was the attitude I saw from this Cowboys team. I liked seeing the boys getting chippy on the field, Zach Martin standing up for Dak when he took a hard hit. You want to carry that same energy going into Miami, coming off a loss. Nicole, like I said, we have to clean up those penalties, but I really did like the attitude of this Cowboys team.
Yeah. Very ugly day weather-wise, kind of an ugly evening for the Dallas Cowboys on both sides of the ball. But we got more for you right here on Cowboys Flashback. We're still flashing back Week 15 right after the break.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
It was a tough one. The scoreboard speaks for itself. We didn't play our standard of ball that we were supposed to play. Yeah.
You can sense the frustrations from Damone Clark and the rest of this team post-game, and rightfully so. The Dallas Cowboys fall to the Buffalo Bills 31-10 in Highmark Stadium. It's the Cowboys' first loss since Week 9. It was a rough day for the front seven. The Bills racking up 266 rushing yards, 179 from Bills running back James Cook alone. The absence of Jonathan Hankins is no excuse. The Bills did what a lot of teams typically go away from when facing the Cowboys. They imposed their will with their run game. 76% of their plays were run plays. And the Cowboys brought some pressure on Josh Allen. 7 completions on 15 attempts were his stats for 94 yards and a passing and rushing touchdown. Run defense has been an issue, but the Dallas defense as a whole got pushed around, the unit taking full accountability in postgame.
Yeah, honestly, it's just unacceptable at this point. There's no excuse for it. It's mind-boggling. I don't understand it, why we're not playing well and why we're not coming together on the road. It's something that we need to look at and get better because we got to go on the road next week.
Something of this that goes back to the Hank injury and not having Hank. Is that important to what you guys are as a run defense?
I mean, Hank's important, but I mean, I think it was everyone all across the board. I don't think it's just one individual, one particular thing. I think it was a group effort.
Mike, how frustrating can it be trying to find the answers for the difference between home and away? It's just a little mind-boggling.
I don't know. It's just something we got to look at, but it's super frustrating for sure.
Do you expect Miami to come out and look at what Buffalo did and kind of do the same thing? Or other teams to start trying to play this way against y'all?
Well, if they do that, I think we'll have a pretty good Sunday because I think I got confidence in the guys around me and confidence in Quinn that we'll get it together and fix these mistakes and get better from it.
We didn't play to our standard. We didn't want to stop the run, and yeah, it's really what it was. Just came down to not playing their standard, and they played a good game. They had a great game plan, and they executed it better than we executed ours. So.
I think I heard you say you didn't want to stop the run. Is that the way?
Oh no, I said we didn't. We didn't stop the run. So I mean, they executed a great game plan. We made some adjustments, and they made some adjustments, and we just couldn't stop it. So.
What was it about their run game that made it so difficult? Is that why was it that they were able to get so much traction against you guys?
We just didn't play to our standard, honestly. I mean, we just got to be more disciplined, and, I just feel like we got all physical, honestly. So.
Is a game like this indicative of the importance of Jonathan Hankins in the middle for you guys? Can you speak to how important he is for you guys?
I mean, it's always important when you got a guy like that can stop the run. I mean, he can two-gap it and everything. But like we said, we still have a standard to uphold, and we didn't.
Now, it wasn't just the defense that struggled. The offensive line had their fair share. Dak Prescott was 21 of 34 for 134 yards and an interception. From the start to finish, Dak spent his time trying to escape pressure. Never could really find his rhythm with his receivers and tight ends, but it all starts in the trenches. The offensive line, for the first time in 5 weeks, got bullied. They gave up 3 sacks and 7 quarterback hits. We saw this offense become one of the best in the NFL in big plays. Sunday, Dak completed just 1 of his 6 attempts of 10-plus air yards. He entered Sunday with a league high on passes over 10 yards. Dak Prescott and company, though, they understand they have to look at themselves in the mirror.
Obviously, we'd love to come out, start like we play at home, produce like we do at home, but that just hadn't been the case. So we've got to find out what those answers are and try to close that gap, and we can't be those two different of a teams. You know what I mean? Winning like we do at home against obviously a good team last week, and then come out here today and just don't get anything done all the way around. I mean, in all 3 phases. But obviously, when myself, the offense doesn't start well, it doesn't help anything of it, any part of that, and allows them to continue to run the ball with the lead, and just makes it tough on everybody.
I mean, obviously, it's extremely disappointing. Every week you go out, you want to win. The guys, myself included, put so much work into this thing, and when you don't get the results you want, it can be crushing at times. But we're not going to let ourselves get down. We're not going to let this game define us. We just got to come back, put together another great week of work, and then come and answer next Sunday the Dolphins. That's what it's all about. So. I got the utmost faith in the squad. We're going to come out and answer it the right way. No problem.
Sweet home and away. Is that something for a player that's almost kind of frustrating or baffling because it is something that's a little bit ambiguous, to say it's home versus away?
I mean, I definitely try to keep, the same mindset regardless of where we are. But, there are obviously extenuating factors, crowd noise and whatnot. But, regardless of that, we got to play the way we know we can play. We know we're a great team, and it's up to us to prove that week in and week out, regardless if we're in Dallas or, away from Dallas. And so, I think the most important thing for us is just putting together, another great week of work and just coming back and, playing the way we know we can play.
Road games still an Achilles heel for this Dallas Cowboys team. They sit at under 500 in away games. But we've got more for you coming up here on Cowboys Flashback. George Teague joins the set to break down his plays in Week 15. We'll be right back.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys not able to find the end zone until under 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And the Dallas Cowboys defense giving up 266 rushing yards. George Teague, alongside myself, Nicole Hutchison, to break down a little bit of these plays. Now, George, we knew the task that this offensive line had at hand coming into Sunday, right? I mean, this is a Buffalo Bills defense that likes to play downhill. What did you see when this offensive line was able to kind of play very well?
There are a lot of positive things, believe it or not. You know, we feel bad when we come out and it seems like we just got punched in the face and didn't move the ball very well. But when you really look at it, you can see good things that are happening with the offensive line too. It's just one game. We're not pushing the panic button or none of that kind of stuff. We just got to bounce back and continue to block, set up the run a little bit better this next week, hopefully. And so maybe we'll have a chance to talk about some of that today.
Yeah, we saw some good runs from Tony Pollard.
That's right. That's right. So let me show you this first one. And this is what I really, really like about this. So when you have teams that are pressuring you, you either got to send screens at them or draws. This is actually a draw play. So I need for you to look at all of the offensive line. They're going to be setting back, okay, influencing the pass. That's really, really important. The second piece that really happens with this is they all take their inside hand, okay, their right hands on this side, their left hands on this side, and club these guys. The next piece that you need to look at is Tony Pollard and what he does. He steps to the left, okay, influences that linebacker. Now this one gets really, really good because they're all engaged up front. Tony Pollard shows what he can be. The jump cut to the right, explodes through and gets in for a big gain. Tony Pollard is one of the brighter moments that we had of the game this week. He rushed very, very well, and you can see why because of the offensive line there too.
Yeah, most certainly. We had some good stuff from TP, but we also saw some really good stuff from Buffalo Bills running back. Unfortunately, not a team that we cover, but, you know, we did see some good runs from him, 179 of the 266 rushing yards alone.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what? Things happen.
Yeah.
We do the same thing. We like to double up to try to get to the linebacker. You remember we talked about that a little while ago, duo blocks. So it's really important when that happens that our linebackers need to be fast through one of these holes, okay, like this. The next piece that you have to worry about is making sure you're setting the edge right here. So when Dalvin Cook actually gets the ball this time, you can see the double team coming up. We got to be quick with the backer. Now we need to set the edge. Dalvin Cook jumps outside to be able to get the 17-yard gain. We got to work on that a little bit because we're going to see this happen again. When you look at Miami, they got two running backs, Mostert, number 31, the A-Chain, who does the same things. These outside runs, we got to be able to fill quickly or we could get gashed one more time.
Yeah, this is a Miami Dolphins team that is one of the top rushing teams in the NFL right now. It'll be a really tough task for this Dallas Cowboys defense, but they have some time to kind of prep and turn the page. But we're going to talk about this matchup coming up right here on Cowboys Flashback. Make sure to stick with us after the break.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, an NRG company.
Well, the good from Week 15, the Dallas Cowboys clinch a playoff spot thanks to losses from the Atlanta Falcons and Green Bay, combined with a win from Detroit Lions in Week 15. But the bad, though, the Dallas Cowboys absolutely froze in Buffalo, 31-10 the final. A message, though, from this team was clear post-game for this week. That's self-evaluate and see how to fix the areas of concern and finish out the season on a positive note. And it doesn't get any easier, though. Sunday, they met a physical Buffalo team. Well, this Sunday in Week 16, they go up against the Miami Dolphins. They meet physicality and speed there, and they're back on the road in Miami, taking on a Dolphins team that's fighting for the AFC East title. Then a regular season home finale on December 30th against the Lions, the top dogs in the NFC North, fighting for a top seed in the playoffs. The Cowboys' NFL leading offense was silenced Sunday, and all the issues against the Bills, teams will try to repeat them in the future. So it's back to the drawing board this week for the Dallas Cowboys as they get ready to turn the page to Miami and get back to 500 on the road. Mike McCarthy's squad's been good at bounce-back losses. Let's hope they can continue that over this week. We'll see you guys in Miami on Sunday.